Hello and welcome to another episode of the playonultra podcast. This is episode 197.
97.
No, it's not. Yeah.
Yes, it is.
87. It's 197. You said 87.
Wait, what?
You said
197.
Yes.
I heard 80. We both heard 80.
Oh, shit. Okay. What's 197? Okay.
We're having a great time. Woo! All right. How are y'all doing today?
It's okay.
It's
It's
okay.
Friday.
Yeah. I had
Very
a
shitty work week.
Oh my
for
gosh,
me.
same here. Everybody in this house had a shitty Friday especially, but this week sucked.
Yeah,
It must
this
have
week's
been-
week.
I don't
For
believe
me,
in
it's because
astrology.
I do online content stuff and we do, we rely on Google a lot. So SEO is huge.
Yeah.
And Google is releasing a huge update this week.
Is it like breaking your
Which-
APIs or something?
Not the API, it's more like our rankings.
Oh.
So we're doing things to get ready for it.
I see.
So yeah, so it's just a lot of work, a lot of last minute work too, and they just released a huge update in May. Like Google can't chill,
Yeah.
but whatever. It's part of
Yeah.
the job, I guess.
Oof. Yeah, no, this whole week has not been... I mean, it's just been a stressful week for me for multiple reasons. And today, everybody in this household had a really bad day. Just something that went wrong. So, and my brother might be, we don't know, might be losing his job. So we're all just like,
Oh, fuck.
It's in an industry that's just very volatile right now.
Did
Normally-
everybody see this coming?
I don't think quite to
Kinda?
this
Not really?
extent.
Right.
Not quite to this extent, but it's been in the works. He works in mortgages basically. So,
Oh,
yeah. So
wait.
it's
Are y'all having another house crisis?
pretty close to one. But
Wait,
that's-
are you all just in perpetual housing crisis all the time? Is that the thing now? Okay.
Well, inflation has been really bad for the last 2 years, and there's finally just been some signs of it, like. So
I
we're
don't
just-
understand how the economy works. Do you know how strong the US dollar is compared to
It's-
every other currency right now? It's
infuriating.
insane.
It's infuriating.
All-time lows for the Malaysian ringgit is going strong against the euros and shit. But yet the US is still having... I don't understand.
I
No,
mean,
it's all made
to
up. It's
me-
all funny.
I mean, to
It's
me,
all
the
made
s-
up. Yeah,
the
exactly.
To me, the stock market is just rich people gambling anyway, and they win and we all lose no matter what. So
They've made the rules to make that true.
pretty much.
I've never read up on any of this or anything, but to me, just from my very rudimentary basic understanding of almost non-existent understanding of how the economy works, we need a lot of losers for it to work.
Yeah.
But it's just
Sure.
because there's no infinite of anything.
Right.
You need infinite
That's-
growth.
Yeah. I mean,
You need
that's how-
infinite growth, but then you still need those people to lose so that they will
Right. Yep.
flip our burgers. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But it's just
Yeah, it doesn't. It's awful, and I try not to think too hard about it. Just living life. Yeah. But
that's a good way, I guess, to start.
I know,
the
but
podcast.
we're getting a little bit of student debt relief, which doesn't really affect me personally, but it will affect my wife, so that's good.
Okay, that's nice. How are they gonna? Is it like a percentage out of everybody's loan?
No,
or-
they did a flat number, which it wasn't that much, and to be honest with you, but it's something. It's better than what we've had.
So how
before.
do they decide who get how much?
So it's a
Oh,
flat
everybody
rate.
gets the same number.
Yeah. So
Oh.
everybody gets the same number. One thing they did change, there was one thing they changed, so that's really, really nice. Any minimum payments used to be 10% of your paycheck. It's now 5% of your paycheck, which is good because one of the things they also are making it be is that as long as you're doing minimum payments, they can't up the interest on you, which is important because if you make less than a certain amount, which they were actually decently fair about as far as like what that amount needs to be, if you make less than a certain amount, your minimum payments will be 0, and if that's the case, your interest won't continue to rise. So
Okay, that's
something.
something.
Really good. That is something. That's a big thing. The flat rate is very like it's eye rolly. It's something, but not that much. But it's something at least.
What is it, like 10K per person or something?
10K per person and
Okay.
20K.
I just shot that number out because that was
for sure.
okay.
10K per person, 20K if you took out something called a Pell Grant, which is a government grant thing, but I don't know much about it. So we're gonna get 20 off of for my wife because she has a Pell Grant. So that, to put it in perspective, her student loans in all total are about 50,000, which is like the middle range, I would say. Doctors are like way more. Doctors are like.
I thought that was kind of low-ish, just from like reading stuff and watching.
Some people are way higher. I wouldn't say it's medium. I'd say it's like average, if that makes sense. Like average usually there, but some people are way higher because the main thing is the interest rates. The interest rates can make some people have to basically pay back double what they borrowed. It's ridiculous.
Talking about interest rates, I'm not sure how housing loans work over there, but I stupidly bought a house, and I signed a couple months ago and all that. And we have this thing called progressive interest.
Oh, okay.
Where we pay before the loan starts.
Oh.
So basically how it is like the bank releases money to the developer to build whatever they need to build. But those are done in stages, right? So like the developer said, okay, I'm done with foundations. We need the next 10%. I'm done with this. We need the next 15%. Stuff like that, right? Okay. And then the owners, the people who own these loans will have to pay interest on these money releases. It's basically free money to the bank. Yeah. Because these payments do not go into anything. It does not go into the loan, anything.
Oh my gosh.
Yep. It's literally just free money into the bank until you get your keys.
That's infuriating.
So next month, starting September, I have to pay progressive interest. And it's almost the same as my rent.
Oh my gosh.
So I'm pretty much doubling.
It's going... Wait, you pay it in addition to rent? Oh, because you're waiting for your house to be built.
Yeah, because I'm just renting from somebody else, right? And I'm waiting for the house to be, which is next year.
Like, when you buy a house and you pay a mortgage payment, like, it's similar to paying rent in that you spend money every month. But at least in the case of a mortgage payment, it feels like when I'm paying money to, like, my landlord when I'm renting, like, the money just disappears from me. But when I'm paying money for a mortgage, at least like I'm buying a small chunk of my house each time, so it feels a little better.
So a normal loan payment, monthly payment, is you pay whatever amount. Let's say 2,000, 700 of that may be going to the principal loan, and the rest goes to interest, right? Because that's how it works.
Right.
I did all the calculations. I'm pretty much gonna, at the end of the loan tenure, I'm gonna be paying double what I borrowed because.
I see. Oof.
But this progressive interest payments do not go into anything. It's literally just paying interest.
Oh, it's disgusting.
It's disgusting.
The one thing
and
I do...
while in the past 2 years, people were losing jobs, people were not getting salary increases, people were getting salary decreases and all that shit, all the banks posted all-time high profits.
Of course.
And the CEOs got all-time high bonuses.
Of course. Yep.
And it's just fucking disgusting.
Oh, yeah.
It's just so disgusting. And it's like what the guillotines, man. Like, I need some guillotines in here.
Need some guillotines and forks and knives.
Yeah. Jeez. So, yeah. Don't buy a house, I guess.
Yeah, well, luckily, I mean, we bought a house right before the inflation went nuts. So we are one of
I heard, like, getting cars are crazy there, too, nowadays.
They might be. We haven't had to get a car in a while, so maybe. I
don't know if car loans
not
are
like
crazy,
normal cars, but maybe electric
supply lines
cars?
are an issue.
Right,
like just getting the chips in new cars is causing problems.
Got it. Okay.
The PlayStation is increasing prices.
Oh, is it?
PlayStation 5, yeah. All major markets like Japan, US, Canada, Europe, China, maybe. I'm not sure, but yeah, they're increasing prices. For now, Nintendo and Microsoft are staying put with their prices on their own consoles.
Okay.
PlayStation, I guess, is the market leader in a way, so they get to do this. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess we'll see. I guess we'll see if they get away with it. Sony has done some strange choices over the years, so we'll see.
It's really expensive to be a PlayStation owner now. Like, not if you can get a PS5 at non-scalpel prices, which is already pretty expensive. Yeah, the prices are way more than I paid for the PS4. And the prices of the games, holy shit. It's all $70 now. It's like...
Yeah.
And usually we pay more. Developing countries tend to pay more because they convert it and then they increase it because they don't want to like lose money on the exchange rate or something.
Yeah.
So I'm not like it's insane the amount they're asking for. So yeah.
Games are
Welcome to the
expensive.
gaming podcast where we don't even have money to play the games anymore.
I know. Well, for me, it's more just like I don't want to play a game unless I am dead certain I'm going to actually play and finish it.
Mm.
You know, and so for me, it's like a, you know, I could afford maybe a few games, but I just don't even want to chance it if I'm going to just hate it.
It's
So-
like back, I would say I'm reducing my impulse purchases.
Mm-hmm. That's fair.
Which I'm not sure how big of a chunk makes up the entire industry, impulse purchases, but I think it's a fair bit, right?
I think it's a lot.
Yeah. You'd think.
Because I think sometimes I just see something on sale pretty decent, or like sometimes I just buy full price games and I see really good reviews and I'm like, I don't really have anything to play. I might as well just play this for like a couple months. Decent investment.
Right.
But you know, I didn't do the research and all that beforehand. I wasn't following the game. It's just like, oh, this game is out. Oh, I'll get it, I guess.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I haven't done that in a long time.
Yeah, man. It's
What are we talking about? Yeah. So what did y'all do?
we're talking about like adulting games,
Yeah.
basically.
We should just rename this podcast "Adult in Games." Adult games, but it's not really
Why
talking
games? We don't even talk.
I know.
adulting.
Adulting who want to play
It sounds like
adults
it's
who wanna play
X-rated.
games. I know.
Yeah, exactly.
Adults-
That's the.
Adults who want to play games.
So did y'all watch Sandman?
No, I haven't
I
yet.
still haven't.
I need
I haven't
to
finished.
though.
I
What?
haven't finished Westworld.
This
yet.
is the first time I watched the show before any of you do.
I know. No, it's hard because my wife's never read the comics, but my brother and I have, and so we just haven't basically forced her to watch it yet.
Some changes and all that. I haven't read the comics, and
Okay.
I think the
I've
comics
never
are good on its own.
Oh, Foe left.
Foe just left and it just fucked up the. Oh,
Oh, you gotta get your camera on.
what just happened?
My Discord just rebooted.
Oh, that's
Oh,
weird.
Maybe I have to do an update.
You just reshifted all the squares. That's okay.
There we go.
Okay.
There we go.
Yeah.
Score should be back again.
What was I saying? Sandman, yeah.
Sandman.
It's really good.
Yes. I've
really
heard
good.
Great. I'm super
Every
excited.
episode. Every
Super
episode is so
excited.
good. And there was a surprise announcement of a bonus episode 11
Yes.
too.
Yes.
It's a two-parter. It's a slightly longer episode.
Cool. Yeah.
It's really good.
I never finished the comic series. I read a lot of it, but that was a while ago. And I remember I was kind of in the middle of a lull period where not a ton was happening. There's a part of the comics where the show doesn't go this far, but there's a part of the comics where it's a lot of like short stories, but they're just kind of sad. And so like I was like in my early 20s, and I was just like, I don't think I had easy access to the next comic, so I just kind of waited and forgot about it. But I'll need to. But I know where the series takes place. I know I've read those ones, so I'm excited.
Okay.
I'm super excited.
The episode 11 are a couple of short stories, basically.
Yeah. It was no, they were
from
fine.
what
It's
I
just-
read.
Yeah, when I was reading it, I was just like, I want to. What's Dream doing? Get me back to Dream.
So I'm not sure. I don't know. I feel like with Neil Gaiman stuff specifically, maybe not just Neil Gaiman stuff, but like, you know, like people start comparing it to like the books or the comics or whatever. I mean, that's happening but like Neil Gaiman, you know, has a pretty big following compared to a lot of other writers, I guess. So I guess it's louder, I suppose.
That's fair.
But I don't know. The character looks a lot like the comic character too.
Yeah.
Apparently, the actor starved himself for the role.
Oh,
Great.
That's
I
dedication, I
don't,
guess.
I don't like that. But
That's like
whatever.
Christian Bale level dedication.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, it's just the dialogue is all well written. There's a story, the plot, the Dream is emo all the time. I love it. It's so amazing. It's so freaking good. I can't wait for season 2. Can't wait for season 2. And
So the season
Lucifer is so hot.
So even those extra stuff, it doesn't like do all the comics. Like, do you have a sense of how much of the comics the first season covers?
I heard it was the first 2 volumes.
Okay.
Ooh. What is that?
That was from Neil Gaiman
20?
himself.
50?
I'd have to look it up, but yeah.
And also,
I think there's 12,
So
10 or 12.
I've heard some people like, if you didn't read the comics, you will like this, basically implying that the comics are better. But Neil Gaiman worked on it. Like, who the fuck are you?
Yes, he did. It's so funny because I'm hearing the opposite. So I follow Neil Gaiman on Twitter. And so, of course, he's really only putting forth the people who are talking about it positively. But he was... I don't know if you two knew this, but he has been asked to do Sandman many times, or like permission to do it, and he's frequently refused because he doesn't like the direction they go in or whatever they do. And so
I saw one of the scripts that he was given.
Oh, really? I never saw it. What was it?
It was, I can't remember the guy's name, but he is known for just really shitty shit. But I don't know how he continues to get funding for shit. But what? Oh my god, what was it? It was some really weird stuff where he turned Sandman, Lucifer, and Desire or something into like triplets or something, and
what?
There's a giant mechanical spider.
What?
I'm
Is
not
it the
making
same
this
guy
up.
who did Wild Wild West who almost did Superman?
It is the same guy who made the Wild Wild West one. He loves mechanical spiders for
loves
some reason.
giant spiders.
Okay, well that's a thing.
Yeah, it's so weird. It's so weird. I don't know why this guy continuously gets funding for stuff. Just makes no sense.
No, not really. But yeah, it's I mean, Neil Gaiman's very proud of it, and he's very happy how it turned out.
And I'm not saying that, I'm also sort of like not in the middle. Like, I don't really know how to feel about but basically to me, I do believe that as soon as a piece of art is released by the artist, a lot of the artists don't really have that much control anymore, I guess, because, people get to have discourse and all that about it, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm not saying Neil Gaiman is the only voice that is correct about Sandman, but he's also the creator, and he worked on the TV show, and if he likes the TV show, and I think that's fine, right?
Yeah, I have found it really just depends on the artist. Some people, I trust Neil Gaiman's judgment on if something takes an adaptation of his.
What was that? The Devil Angel one again? What was it? With Terry Pratchett?
Yes, Good Omens.
Good Omens. That was really good.
Yeah, I never saw it, but I heard really good things about it.
People really like American Gods, too. Yes. I didn't really. It was kind of slow and, boring.
Yeah. Yeah, I heard that was kind of mixed.
I tried to watch season 2, but it was just
Yeah.
But a lot of people like it.
Mm-hmm. And I think with Neil Gaiman, I trust his judgment. Others, I may not as much. So, for instance, this is
George R. R. Martin?
No, not quite that, actually. I trust George R. R. Martin's thoughts more than the TV show, because when the TV show took it in their own hands, it went in weird directions. Some things I was fine that they did, but the final season was weird. No, it's actually I'm trying to think. This isn't a fair comparison, but what's his name? Who's the guy who wrote Watchmen? Alan something?
Alan Moore.
Alan Moore?
Alan Moore.
Alan Moore.
He's very bitter. So I just don't really trust his
about
judgment.
the movie?
He's just a bitter guy.
He's just a cranky, crazy person.
He's a cranky, crazy person that...
It shows in his work.
It just shows in his work. And, I mean, I don't remember if he had anything bad to say about the Watchmen movie. I thought for an adaptation, they did a decent job. And
At the time it came out, I remember stating that I liked the ending of the movie more than the ending of the comic.
I feel
That
like I
is
remember
fair.
you saying that before.
That is very fair. I remember we talked about this. It was a long time ago, and I remember being like, I liked the theme they went with the comic, but the movie was much like it made way more sense. Like it was way
I
more
really need to
logical.
watch the TV show. Have any of y'all watched the TV?
No,
the
I've
I
only
like the
watched
TV
the
I heard
first
it's
really good.
episode.
It's
really
completely
good.
different. Like, it takes place, like, 20 years
different from
after
the movie or the comics?
Both.
Oh, okay.
It's, like, 20 years later.
Yeah, it's not
Um,
based on any
So
comics.
it's its own thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's pretty good. It's, I mean, there's a lot of plot elements that don't get wrapped up. So don't expect any closure, because the guy's like, I told the story I want to tell.
I mean, it's
They can make a
only season
two
1,
if
right,
they-
so far?
It's only one.
okay.
Well, there's season 1, and then the creator, like, left.
Of
Oh,
course.
okay.
He said he told the story he wanted to tell. And, like, I don't know. There was a story that was told, but also
That was funny.
you could have done more.
Yeah.
And it's pretty current or something, right? They make it
Yes.
pretty relevant.
It's
to them.
very topical, yeah.
It's very topical.
okay.
I mean, the big thing that was talked about it, and I didn't know about it, was about the Tulsa massacre.
Yeah.
Is it based in an event when United States killed a lot of people of color and other terrible things? But it was talked about, and it was I'd never heard.
Isn't
of it before.
Tulsa in like Oklahoma or something?
Yes.
It's not Midwest somewhere.
Okay.
correct.
What?
It was also
The
a huge
U.S.
plot
killed a bunch
point
of their own citizens?
because they were black.
They were black.
Yeah,
Listen,
but still, it's like mass
You're right, yeah,
killings,
but
though.
still.
That's a different level compared to like a bunch of police killing one black guy. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like mass killings tend to
Yeah,
get a
yeah.
lot more
yeah, it's there's
scrutiny. Like
There's a
like you know,
lot.
like
don't
America
teach
have,
us
like,
about it in
killing
school,
one
so
black
I-
guy is okay, but killing 10 black guys at once
Sure.
like, is a bit much. Like you know what I mean?
There was a different event too, where the police just dropped a bomb in Philadelphia out of a helicopter and like blew up like a block in a
Yep.
A black area?
neighborhood. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was I didn't know this
To
at all.
flush out what exactly?
So what it
to
was, from
kill
what I
people,
understand,
I
is
don't
they were they kind of built their own, wealthy area. It was called like Black Wall Street or something.
Yes.
It was very like wealthy, up and coming, like black neighborhood.
And that's a no-no,
essentially.
right? Wait, what
Yeah.
year is this?
This was probably at least 30, 40 years ago.
I think the bomb one was not that long ago. Like, it was like 70s or 80s.
Yeah, 40, 50 years ago.
The Tulsa was older, like 1930s or something, 40s, I don't know.
Oh, okay. Huh. Ugh. Ugh. Why do cops have access to helicopters and bombs? Like, it makes no sense.
They
Because
have
we
access
have to have losers.
Oh, this is sad. Anyway.
Anyway, you should watch Watchmen. I think you'd like it.
Okay. Cool.
Yep, so I'll be watching. Well, hopefully, gonna be watching Sandman. I just haven't yet. It might just be my brother and I at some point, just going through it.
I'm really surprised Sandman is on Netflix and
know.
not like Amazon Prime.
I know. Eh,
Hmm.
I guess they offered more money.
But it's also like not as adult, mature, R-rated as like American Gods.
Oh, okay.
It's like a
Interesting.
bit more. Yeah, it's like the
There's some dark
the
parts.
focus is definitely dark, but
Yeah.
the focus is definitely like on the characters and all that.
Fair enough. I mean,
Hmm.
I could see that. You could probably make Sandman pretty PG-13. It's just there were a lot of implied shitty things in there. So
Like
we'll see.
like the boys, you can't do like that one. It's just too gory, right? So, but Sandman is
Yeah.
like I don't know. It's pretty.
Sandmans were subtle.
Hmm.
So the
not like
comics was always
Preacher.
more subtle. I remember because I was actually legitimately confused as to what was going on in some scenes. 'Cause it's not graphic in the original comic, and so I was like, is that? Oh.
I mean, it has.
Preacher's pretty gory.
I don't know if it's the same problem.
the comics and
problem
TV show.
might be the right word, but it's kind of like reading most like Magic comics. Like who's the main DC like Magic user?
Magic the Gathering.
No.
Like Magic user
Magic
comics.
and comics.
Shazam?
Tara.
No, Zatara's the name you should think of. I'm the guy who's a trench coat. Oh man,
Constantine.
He's English. Constantine's what I'm thinking of.
Keanu Reeves. Okay.
Constantine, I don't know the credits, but I feel like Constantine artists and Sandman artists might have some overlap. But there's a lot of just magic happening, like swirls and cosmic circles and stuff. So it's very abstract, I guess is the point.
Yes.
So you could
isn't Sandman like an original thing and then published by Vertigo? DC bought Vertigo, and then DC took a couple of characters to make it into like DC-ish characters like Lucifer and Constantine and all that. And then
well,
so technically,
in
when
Sandman, Batman
is
and
punching
Scarecrow
somebody, right?
show up.
As
What?
does
Okay.
Marvel.
Okay.
I think it's Marvel's. It's a Marvel person. Not Marvel. I'm talking like
Captain Marvel.
Yeah, Captain Marvel.
I think you're right.
Marvel?
It's like Captain
He's a
Marvel.
DC hero called Captain Marvel.
It's
Right.
stupid.
It's not
Anyway,
Shazam, right?
I
No,
don't. The Sandman
Similarish,
version's
like
not
a
Shazam.
cape.
He's very similar.
They're
Okay.
very similar. They come from the
I
same.
feel like I
place.
remember who you're talking about. Like I can
but
kind of
there
picture
is-
it.
Yeah, but there is like a Captain Marvel storyline. I remember I was super confused. I
I'd
was like,
forgotten about it, but now I
Yeah.
do remember.
Yeah, because his wife comes into play. I don't. My brain is telling me Dr. Light appears, but I could be totally
Yes,
wrong.
Dr. Light, Dr. Fate, maybe.
Maybe it's
Doctor
Fate.
something. I can picture the helmet. I don't know his
Yeah.
name.
Oh, Dr. Fate, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Basically, a lot of magic guys, right, will show up.
Yeah. I think at the very end of the comics, like, everybody shows up. Like Superman,
I think I
Batman,
heard-
Martian
I didn't
Man.
get
Like,
that
the whole
far.
Justice League shows up and more.
Yeah, I think I heard about that, but I didn't get that far.
Gwendolyn Christie?
Gwendolyn?
I don't know.
She makes such a good Lucifer.
Oh, yeah.
She's
Oh,
not.
she's great.
I mean, she's hot. She's tall. She's so imposing. Shit, she makes such a good Lucifer.
She's great.
She's
I
I think she's a little bit better than what's that guy? That guy
which
from
guy?
the Lucifer TV shows.
Oh, I don't know his name, but I can picture him. He's got a weird
Yeah.
face.
Yeah.
Have Gwendolyn Christie.
But yeah, watch Sandman. Like, it's a really good show.
Yeah.
If you know
Yeah.
nothing about it, just watch it. It's really good.
Oh, cool, awesome. I know
Hmm.
it's been like almost 10 years since I read the comics and I never finished them, so it'll be a good review for me.
I read him not that long ago because I bought the first one, like Trade Zero. I bought it like over 10 years ago. And then because the problem I have sometimes with trades is it's like, did you buy volume 1 or book 1? And I can never remember, so I'd never buy the number 1. And then like 4 or 5 years ago, a friend was leaving San Francisco. And he's like, hey, I have all the Sandman books, but I'm missing the first one, and I don't want to move them. Do you want them? Like, that's perfect. I will take them. So I read them all.
Hilarious.
Funny thing about the actor who plays Dream, the first anything, he was doing a very raspy, whispery Batman voice,
Oh,
and
jeez.
Neil Gaiman stop doing Batman voice. He just nipped it in the bud right there. It was really funny. So really funny.
Neil
yeah.
Gaiman seems like a good egg.
I'm not sure if it's Neil Gaiman or director, but I'm pretty sure it was Neil Gaiman. I was just watching like random interviews and stuff.
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah.
Well, watch it
So
soon.
yeah, Sandman, that was a really good, very good highlight of like the
Good.
month, I guess. Yeah.
Good. Yeah, I've been watched the first episode of She-Hulk. So far, it's what I expect. Definitely. I'm not saying so far it's anything revolutionary, but I'm enjoying it so far. I will say, I don't know if the next episodes get better. The first episode, usually CG stuff doesn't bother me really at all. I don't have a good eye for it. I don't know. The first episode of She-Hulk CG was starting to get on my nerves a little bit. Like something it was starting to not look right to me, which
It's
is
a little weird.
Okay.
Is it because they're rushing these shows out?
I don't
you
know.
think?
I really don't
I
know.
think it's
Could
also
be.
just hard to do
It's
because
hard
they're
to
trying
do,
to make
yes.
like Hulk doesn't look human. They're trying to make her look very human still,
Human.
and I
Yeah,
think it's
and
just hard.
And it's just weird. The physics just don't look right, and sometimes the limbs don't look quite right. I really don't care because they're not making
It's
her
not
be the Hulk
realistic.
all the time, so
Yeah.
it's not a big deal to me. But interesting so far. I love the main character. I think she does a great job, so I'm pretty excited. Other than that, we've also been watching Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy. That show's gotten kind of weird. I'm still gonna watch it, but it's just gotten weird. That's all I can really say about it. There was an episode where Catwoman and Batman started singing, and it was not good. And it was like, is this on purpose, or was
Are
this
they
meant to be
doing
right?
weird to be weird on purpose now?
I
Like
can't
without-
tell. It was quite. I don't like to use this word, but it was quite cringy. I usually don't care much about cringy stuff. I can usually laugh through it, but this was cringy. Because all I will tell you is that the music meister guy comes in and is like pretending to be their couples therapist. That's all I will reveal. So they start just singing to each other about their feelings, and they just did not do a good job. It was weird. But otherwise, like, everything else is good. But it's just shows going on a weird direction this season.
That's too bad.
That's fine. That's okay. I mean, it's whatever.
I kind of want to watch it still, though. But
yeah, watch
because
it.
really I enjoyed like the first. This is season, what, 3?
This is season 3. It's still really good. Like, as far as like Harley and Ivy's like pathos stuff, really solid and really realistic. And Gordon's story is just very facepalm worthy. But yeah, there's just a lot of weird side vignette things they're doing that are just kind of weird. But the main story is fine. So we'll see. I'm gonna watch it till the end. It's fine. I don't think they're doing any more seasons after this. So, at least
this is the last.
I think it's going to be. I've heard rumors about that, but I could be wrong. So I'm just going to enjoy the ride, and with the knowledge that they're not breaking up because they promised they wouldn't break them up. So there's got to be at least a semi-happy ending here.
Somebody has to die.
Yeah, probably.
I'm also watching, not really watching, like sit down watch every day or whatever, but like I'm starting to get back into the old 90s X-Men animated series because they are gonna do a continuation of the series next year-ish, something like that. Yeah, it's called X-Men 97. How did the show end? I cannot remember the last time I watched it when I was a kid.
You have to tell me. I remember Apocalypse and the writers and all that stuff.
So it still holds up today, honestly. Like the stories and everything. Yeah, the animations, all that kind of like whatever, 90s. But, and because it's a 90s TV show, the budget's not that high all the time, right? Mm-hmm. But, the stories and the characters and all that still holds up. It's still kind of funny sometimes. Still really good. But I would say Sandman in terms of TV show was the highlight. But in terms of movies, did I mention this the last time? I'm not sure. But I finally watched Everything Everywhere All at Once.
I don't think you did talk about it.
I've heard
it is one of the best movies I've ever watched.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been hearing a lot about that one.
That one's...
What kind of movie is it? Like, what genre?
It is a better multiverse movie than Doctor Strange.
Oh, I'd say kind of movie. It's like fantasy adventure kind of stuff.
It's a comedy.
It's
surreal.
Honestly, at the core of it, it's like a family comedy.
It's a generational drama. Like, mom has a mom and a daughter, and they're all immigrants.
And it's very very Asian centric.
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. I just have no idea.
And it's so absurd at the same time. The thing is, at the core, it's like a very serious, like, for say, generational family drama. But surrounding it is like just absurdity. And it's just works so well. And all the actors played their roles perfectly. Casted perfectly. The plot, everything moved so well. Even though it's a multiverse movie too, everything was very easy to understand. And it was just... Oh my god, it's so good. It's one of the best movies I've ever watched, at least in the past 5 years, if not ever. Yeah. Like, it's just... If you're not into multiverse movies or fantasy, but if you like Michelle Yeoh, I will still say watch it.
Oh, no. Sounds good to me.
I think it's probably Michelle Yeoh's best performance ever. If not one of the best. It's like, I think it can relate to like a lot of people, like a family daughter type thing, mother daughter type thing, like Asian immigrants or just immigrants in general, or if you don't really care about that stuff, the multiverse stuff, all the action, the comedy, those are really good too. Like, there's just something for everybody. It's amazing. Like, what the fuck? I should have watched it.
It's hard to talk about because I don't want to overhype it, but I mean, like, it's almost flawless, right? Like, it does everything so well. Like, comedy, action, feels. It's like, how?
Yep.
Yeah, I'll
pretty
see if I
much.
can force everybody to watch it. I've heard good things about it. I just haven't sat down.
And the weirdness makes sense. I'm not sure how to say it. Like, it's weird. There's a lot of weird stuff in it. It's a multiverse
doesn't
movie,
take you
so they
out of
went
it.
ham on the weirdness, but also it just made sense. It felt really in place with the movie. Like as you watch it closer to the middle, you're like, there's nothing that can be out weirding anything else that came. And then something weirder happens, and then it's like, yeah, that makes sense in the context of the movie.
They set
like,
it
it's
up.
just so it's just like
it's not
so,
non sequiturs.
yeah, it's just, oh my god, it's so good.
Just,
Holy shit. It's definitely something I will like watch again.
I know I will. I've been putting it off because I'm like afraid I won't like it as much the second time. And I want to preserve it because I like it so much.
I don't want to watch it again so soon,
Yeah.
but it's definitely something I will watch again for sure.
Yeah.
Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. Yeah, I'm not sure if I mentioned it last time, but yeah, definitely watch it if you're Sandman and that. Like that's just like for a month you're good with that.
Good to
with
know.
those two.
Good to know.
So good. Other than that, y'all did anything else?
I watched some real weird stuff. Have you guys heard of a Canadian comedian? What's his name? Nathan. He had a show called Nathan for You with Nathan. I'm blanking on the last name. You haven't heard of him. He has a new show called The Rehearsal, where basically in the first episode, somebody
Nathan
comes
Fielder?
to him. Nathan Fielder, thank you. Somebody comes to him and they're like, "Hey, like years ago when I first joined my pub trivia team, I got nervous and I lied to them and I told them that I have a master's degree and I only have a bachelor's degree and I'd like to come clean to them, but it's gonna be a really awkward conversation." And so Nathan basically like is gonna help them by setting up a rehearsal for the conversation. And like the whole premise of the show is that by like perfectly recreating reality, you can prepare for anything. And so like he builds like to very fine detail an exact replica of the bar where this guy's going to have the conversation. He hires an actress to follow the guy's friend so she can like mimic her and like, you know, be the recipient of the conversation. Like it gets like, so the show gets weird. It gets really weird. I'm not going to spoil it. I think it's probably the most impressive thing I've ever seen from a like you had the funding to pull off this incredible feat and like your attention to detail is insane. As far as like a work of art goes, I don't know how I feel about it because it's weird and I don't know the messages and it's just weird.
Nathan Fielder is known for like just making cringy stuff on purpose, right? Isn't that like his whole thing?
His comedic style, I would say, often is that awkward style. So like Nathan for You, the premise of that show is he would go up to, he'd find people and be like, "Hey, I can help you with your business," and he'd give them generally kind of bad advice, or he'd like kind of help them like one example would be like this guy's like his own advertisement was, "I have the best hamburgers in Los Angeles." He's like, "Oh wow, you have the best hamburgers in Los Angeles? You should advertise that more. You should, if you truly believe that, then you should offer a deal where it's like, if you don't like the hamburger, a free refund." And so the guy like does it, and so there's a lot of just awkward like social interactions from there. Like I think Nathan does a great job of screening the people on the show who are themselves extremely weird, and so that's where most of the comedy comes from. Like in the rehearsal, in that first episode, that guy who wants to have that conversation, during the rehearsal, they kind of discover that he's so nervous about having the conversation that in the practice pub trivia stuff they're doing, he's performing not as well as he wants to perform. And he's like, "If we lose the pub trivia, then I'm not going to have the conversation because pub trivia is like the number one thing in our lives and nothing can compromise that." And so Nathan knows that guy's not going to want to cheat. So he somehow gets the questions that are going to be asked by that guy on that night. And then he like incepts them into the other guy's head. Like they'll be walking down the street together and they'll see like a policeman like on the police caution tape line. Like, "Oh man, what happened?" And the police officer was like, "There's a hostage situation and the hostage got shot. You know, it's days like today that I wish the Chinese hadn't invented gunpowder." Just like to get these little like trivia things into the guy's head so he knows them for the trivia thing.
Wait,
like,
and the police week. And all that are like
they're all
sets.
actors. It's all, yeah. Like they'll walk by like a construction worker who's like surveying the land. They're like, "Wow, tall building. Are you working on it?" He's like, "Yeah, it's tall. Not as tall as the Burj Khalifa in India. Tallest building in the world." Just like these little conversations.
So is it all a show or is part reality show? Like this person who wants to have the conversation about not having the degree or whatever, is that a real thing?
They are supposed to be a real person, and I'm choosing to believe they are.
Oh,
they are not scripted. And I mean, they aren't aware. They aren't aware of the lengths to which Nathan's going to replicate their reality.
So how did they explain the cameras following them? Did they ever mention that?
They do. I mean, they don't talk to you, the viewer, about it, but like, I think they're just being filmed like out in the world. That doesn't mean that they believe everything they encounter in the world is like scripted and staged necessarily. Does that make sense?
I guess.
Like, I mean, because things are filmed in the real world, but I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a good point. Why would because if you never stop filming, you eventually stop questioning it. Anyway, I watched the rehearsal. It's good. So I finished that, and I'm watching a thing that's kind of similar. That's been on my list for a while, but not too long. Called Kevin Can Fuck Himself, and the main actress is I'm blanking on her name. She's the actress, the younger of the from Schitt's Creek, like the daughter, the sister, whichever her name is. So she's the main character, and she is the wife in a sitcom-like relationship. And the show starts off like a very standard sitcom, like, a lot of one-liners and quips, and there's a laugh track and everything. But as soon as she is not in the room with her husband, it is no longer a sitcom. Like, the lighting gets darker, the camera angles kind of change, and so you're basically watching this woman who's trapped in a toxic relationship and kind of miserable about her life. And that is the show. It just switches between two styles throughout the show. Like, the characters are not aware they're in a sitcom. It's not like some meta thing. It's just a storytelling device where when he's in the room, because he's, like, happy and he doesn't listen to her, it's like a sitcom. And then when she's alone, she's just, like, trying to, like, murder him.
That's kind of interesting.
Honestly. It's kind of dark, but it's really interesting. I watched 2 episodes so far, and I'm really liking it. So that's good.
Where is it? On the high seas.
Yeah.
Okay. High seas it is.
Kevin, nothing matters anymore on TV, so.
It's so hard to find.
Oh my
Amazon
god.
Prime Video has it. Fubo has it. I forgot Fubo was a real thing. It sounds so fake.
Fubo?
That does remind me though, on Amazon, I am watching a show that they acquired from Crackle, called Super Mansion. It's like a robot chicken. It's a stop motion superhero show, and I watched it because Bryan Cranston is basically Superman, and Keegan-Michael Key is basically Captain America. And so it's an okay show. It's very much Adult Swim. Like there's a Catwoman character, and her name is Cooch. So it's it's very blue. It's not It's not super clever, but it's kind of fun.
So I think Fo shared this, but I remember reading it as well. The whole Warner Brothers, Discovery, HBO Max, self-implosion thing.
Yeah. Yep, that's a thing.
So
sad.
Warner Brothers, who owns HBO Max, merged with Discovery, right? And the Discovery CEO took over as the CEO of the whole merger, I guess.
Apparently, which is ridiculous.
And he's axing a bunch of shit, and he's really into high profit margins type shows, which is apparently reality TV.
Yeah.
Because that's what Discovery is all about now, the reality TV. I always thought Discovery was like a documentary scientific type channel.
Probably
no?
not.
Am I wrong? Oh.
I don't even know. I mean, you have to understand that so many of those shows have just evolved. Like sci-fi used to be, sci-fi. Crime TV is now true TV, which is just basically a bunch of bullshit,
Even on the wiki, Discovery Channel, it initially provided documentary television programming focused primarily on popular science, technology, and history, but by the 2010s had expanded into reality television and pseudo-scientific entertainment.
Yep. I'm wondering if that's where the History Channel is from. I don't know.
Oh, good. History Channel, the one with the aliens.
Yep.
The one where aliens built everything that brown people built.
Yeah, 2010. Yeah, no, 2010s were a terrible time.
Yeah, it's a weird time.
For TV shows. Yeah, I mean,
People can't talk
reality
shit
TV
about the 90s. 2010s were pretty fucking weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's because I think that's when the writers' strike happened, right? Because it was
I
coincided
think
with
so,
the
yeah.
writers' strike.
It was
Yeah,
right
because
around-
reality TV basically exploded during the time of the writers' strike.
Because you didn't really need that many writers, or
Right, you didn't need that many writers was the idea, or at least like.
But you still
decent
need writers, though, right?
Yeah, but it's
Nowadays
I mean,
you do.
Nowadays you do. I think back in the day you barely needed any, and it was just what could you
Oh,
capture on?
were they even allowed to hire any non-union writers? They are. They
I
were.
have
They are.
no idea. Don't ask
If
me
they're
how, but
non-union, probably. I don't know how it works.
I really don't know how it works. All I know is that that's what happened. Like the writers' strike happened, and a lot of channels started turning towards reality TV.
Mm.
So,
So,
that's the
Bad Girl was one of the things that got axed.
Yep.
They literally finished it.
Yeah.
They spent $90 million on it already, and they just axed it,
That's
which is
also
such a
why
shame.
which is why I'm saying that Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy are probably not returning.
Mm. So, like, I didn't know this, but the writer of Bad Girl, the movie, also wrote Birds of Prey.
Oh!
Oh,
Mm.
man.
Oh,
I
I'm
didn't
I
see
so
really
that.
love Birds of
mad.
Prey. Oh, fuck.
Ugh.
She also wrote Bumblebee, which was actually a pretty decent Transformers movie.
I've heard multiple people saying it's good. It's,
It's
decent at
probably the best Transformers movie,
Yeah.
It
honestly.
probably is.
I
I don't
guess I
care
haven't
what
seen it,
Transformers
actually.
I've watched
is.
it. It's
I'm
actually
so
pretty
mad.
decent, and
didn't
I
realize
hate
it was the same
live-action Transformers movies.
I'm so mad right now. I didn't realize.
And
it
Michael
the same
Keaton
director.
was supposed to come back as Bruce Wayne. I didn't know that one.
I
So
think
many
I
good
had
things
heard
about it.
It's just
I don't know,
I
it-
had no idea about this whole.
Doesn't it just
situation.
make sense? You've already made it. If you really do not want to spend money on the marketing and all that, just throw it into streaming. But people did say if you axe it, you can get tax breaks on it because it's
Yes.
a loss.
Which I never
Huh.
knew. I'd never heard of that before.
Apparently,
that's the
Cartoon
thing.
Network did a bunch of that too.
Well, what
Oh,
Cartoon
man.
Network did was they sold their stuff before this happened to, I believe, HBO Max. So they sold the shows, which I'm not saying was a great idea, but that's what happened. They sold the shows to HBO Max, but now Discovery's canceling them. And it's kind of like, I didn't realize that was a thing because, but it makes sense. I kind of had this happen to me in a very different area. I don't know if you guys remember, and I'm going to talk about it now because, hell, no one's going to see this as far as from that company, so I don't care. But some time ago, I used to do a podcast that was from the company my wife used to work at, a radio company. That's all you need to know. They're a huge radio media company in the U.S. And we were, me and this other girl, we were hired to do a podcast about women in esports. That was the podcast. So we did. We were actually basically from on high asked us to do this. We had developed the name, developed the logo, did the whole show, right? Well, we were then fired, essentially. And we were told, because we wanted to continue the podcast, but we were told we were not allowed to use any of the property of that podcast. We couldn't use the logo, we couldn't use the title, anything like that. And in fact, actually, we were technically not really even supposed to like talk about esports on any kind of thing for like 6 months. It didn't apply to me because I was only a part-time, but it applied to her. So that was a whole thing too. And the thing is like the show's gone. Like you can't find the show anywhere. There was like one site that still had it, but otherwise the show is gone. No one's picked it up. No one's using it. But they still...
So all that work for nothing, basically.
Yeah, basically. All for nothing. And they won't let go of that property. I don't know if it's quite the same as this, but it feels very similar insofar as, like, no one else can do it, but, you know...
But they're not going to do anything with it.
Exactly. So, I don't know
yeah,
if they were
that's-
able to,
yeah.
you know, pour it on their taxes
Mergers,
as a loss or now,
man.
but...
Mergers. Fuck. That's why when I
have
saw
friends
that whole... Yeah?
who made a whole movie, and then because of mergers, like their movie's just sitting on some like shelf somewhere. Like they're like, we don't even think the company's like aware they have our movie, so they just showed it on Twitch one day because like we're not supposed to, but like they don't know they have it. Like no one's gonna come after us for this movie. And It's like a heist film where the difference of the movie is they're stealing Nicolas Cage's Superman Action Comics #1 comic, and every time Nicolas Cage is in a scene, they got a different actor to play him.
It's actually pretty good.
It's actors you'd recognize too. Like, they actually got like comedians who like a Paul Scheer level type comedians to play Nick Cage, which is kind of fun to see.
That's fun. Yeah. It's just the thing about like rights with property just drive me nuts. What were you gonna say?
So like there's this game called The Children of Tomorrow. I'm not sure if y'all heard of it, but it released on the PlayStation 3 or 4. I can't really remember. It's made by god damn it, it's like an American Japanese game Children of Tomorrow. And they released it. It didn't do so well, and it just kind of like got removed from the PlayStation Store or something, and the servers got shut down, whatever. But it's owned, the name and everything is owned by Sony, I believe, because the developer was like, I guess, under Sony or whatever.
Yeah.
So like they actually put the work in to try to get to talk to somebody who will then work with them to release the game back to the studio, and it's actually getting released and everything by the studio now. So
wow, that's good. But
that's one case out of like a million, because I'm sure a lot of people try to do that. I actually kind of remember something else. They tried to get back like the rights of like a game or something that was shelved or something, but they just kept getting ping ponged here and there. It's just
yeah, I mean the rights of those things are so ridiculous. Like, listen, I'm not here to like defend Taylor Swift, but do you guys know anything about the Taylor Swift debacle with her masters?
Her old manager or something.
So
owns
essentially,
her old music, something like that.
So it's kind of the relationship itself is super complicated. From what I understand, her masters, so like the full music, basically, the full track. That's what I understand. Was owned by this one company that she used to work for that she then split from, and the masters were sold to this other random dude that everybody knew, like they did not like each other. Basically, it seemed like a shitty move because I don't even know if the guy was even a producer. It was really strange. But anyway, they definitely like had beef, so it felt like the selling of her masters to this guy was like seemed really personal. I don't know, don't care. The point is she didn't have access to them anymore. This guy would refuse to sell them back to her. And so she owns the rights, I guess, still to the lyrics and to the songs, just not to the masters. So she re-recorded all her old songs and just re-released them. Now, she's rich and wealthy enough to do shit like that, but it's just kind of crazy, right? Like, that song is hers by all intents and purposes. But she can't have access to it, just like with these shows and stuff, that when these things get axed, it's not even like they can take them back and then make their own website and put it up, which is just insanity to me.
I think Fo can answer this better, but like, isn't there like a clause in a lot of IT software companies where if you make something on your own time, the IT software company owns it or some shit like that?
On your own time? I don't. Maybe if you did it on company resources. I just remember there's like non-compete clauses where you're just not supposed to work on things like related to your industry in your own time.
You can't even get hired by other companies.
You can't moonlight
sometimes.
Oh yeah, sometimes there's like you can't. You can't
go to
a
the
contractor thing.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. But like when I worked at Amazon briefly, because some part of Amazon makes video games, like I had to get their permission to work in a game jam.
Oh.
It's not like we're going to make money off the game or anything, but they're very protective of that sort of thing.
Yep, we have. So the person that I do the other podcast with, she also works for Amazon, and we go on Twitch, and she doesn't seem to care, but she's kind of risking herself by whatever.
Wait, are Amazon employees not allowed to stream on Twitch?
I don't think they're not allowed to. It's just a little funky because if you don't talk about the company, there's a lot of kind of funkiness, and she to be fair, the real reason she's really not supposed to is she works like really stupid hours, and we're doing this at like a later time of night, and she still is supposed to be on company time while she's doing it. It's just shit like that. So but she works like stupid hours, so they can go away.
So yeah, I finished Xenoblade Chronicles, which is whatever.
Okay.
I mean, it's good. But I only finished the main game. There's apparently also an epilogue, so I'll probably start that eventually. But highlight in terms of gaming, I guess, is Dragon Quest Builders 2. I just decided to like start it like randomly, and like it's basically Minecraft Dragon Quest, and it's fun because it's like there's like a story. It teaches you how to build stuff, and it's so if you're the type where you get overwhelmed by all these very sandboxy creative type games, play Dragon Quest Builders 2. This main quest and the story allows you to be creative somewhat, but it just it just like funnels you along nicely.
Yeah.
So that you don't get too overwhelmed, because a lot of things are locked to you until they got unlocked by the main story, right? And I believe to unlock sandbox mode, you actually have to finish the main story set anyways, I think. But I'm playing on the PS4. I believe PC should be better because of mods or whatever. But yeah, it's a good game. It's like fun. It's really fun. It's really cute. Other than that, nah, nothing else. Y'all?
Yeah, no, I don't think. Been playing 14 a little bit. New patch came out. It's good. Nothing else to really say about that. It's still solid. They did release a new thing where it's called Island Sanctuary, and you basically kind of like raise and catch animals, and I think make your own farm and stuff like
Chocobo farm?
Are, kind of. People are getting so obsessed with it. It's hilarious. Because they kind of have like a stock market kind of thing there where like you have to try to sell your vegetables on a good day, that kind of shit.
Like
so
Animal Crossing?
Kind of, yeah. From what I haven't actually gotten to it yet because the servers have been so overloaded. I literally haven't been able to physically get to my island yet. So I'm just waiting till everything
So when you say animals, do you just mean normal animals, or like you can catch and raise a Marlboro or something?
I'm not really sure. I've seen examples of chocobos and sheep, but I don't know. The main thing you can do that made everybody super excited is, so we have what's called minions in 14, like your little animal companions. They don't do anything. They just follow you around. They're really cute. And you can have a bunch of them be free on your island and just roaming and doing stuff, and you can pet them and things like that. They literally have a hint screen to explain what the petting command does. And they're like, this doesn't do anything except bring you happiness.
Does it is it an instance for everybody, or do you have to buy an island like a house?
No. It's an instance for everybody. The reason I'm doing this is because it's why the servers are overloaded. Because there's separate instances for everybody. And as much as I love 14, it is spaghetti code. Everybody knows it. And so it's very easily overloaded. And so, like, you'll be like, I want to go to my sanctuary. And they're like, no, you can't. Too many people are on their stuff. You're like, okay.
I'm guessing you can visit other people's farms and all that.
I think so. I haven't heard about it yet, though. I think you can in theory, but
can you build anything?
I haven't really done it enough to know. I think the idea is you kind of like work on stuff, and I think, but I haven't actually done it myself. So
it would be kind of insane if they let you build anything. That would fuck up the servers, I think.
It's not at all like housing. Like, so there's like housing items, right? And they don't do anything on the island. So it's nothing like that, which is kind of too bad, but it's not what they were going for. They still love their housing fake scarcity market, so. It's ridiculous.
Did you guys ever play WildStar? That had a pretty good housing system.
No.
Isn't that like a cowboy in space type thing?
Yeah, it's mostly sci-fi, but it had kind of a Western twang to it. Kind of like Borderlands, but
okay.
I mean, it's discontinued now, but it had some fun sandbox house stuff.
Yeah, I'm kind of weird with housing stuff because like I like it and all, and then all of a sudden I'm like, I've never played The Sims, but I feel like I should just be playing The Sims.
Or you can play like, I don't know, Project Hospital or something. Project Hospital. Yeah.
Like when I was playing Skyrim, I got super excited when I downloaded the DLC that let me get married and have a house and have kids. I was like coming home, the adventurer mom, and saying hi to everybody and their pet rabbit, and then going off again. I don't know. I just like that shit. It was fun. So.
Yeah, I get it. Let me just show this off real quick.
Okay. All right, show it off.
I got Michelangelo as the mummy.
Ooh,
and I got Raphael as Frankenstein's monster.
Oh,
This
What are
one
the other
was
ones?
package relation. The other ones is Leonardo as Hunchback
Oh, interesting.
and Donatello as Invisible Man.
Is there just nothing there?
Basically, he's bandaged, but you can see very clearly it's a turtle head. You know,
Okay.
it's kind of cute.
Cool.
Yeah.
I think they should have
else?
done a good Dracula instead of a Hunchback.
So okay. So Splinter is Van Helsing.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, that's really cool.
I think it's cool because I do think Dracula is gonna be Shredder, the bad guy.
Right.
I think he's gonna be
Okay.
Dracula.
That
But
makes
honestly, I think they should have made Splinter into the werewolf because it kind of makes sense in that way.
It makes more sense for the for them to be like all monsters and the opposition, right? Like
I
Van
feel
Helsing
like
should be-
Shredder should be Van Helsing.
Yeah.
I think instead of going for like the look, they're going for like their personality. Shredder shouldn't be Van Helsing because Van Helsing is technically the good guy and Shredder is not.
Sure.
But you're just doing weird shit anyways. Might as well just reverse the roles or
Right.
something.
I don't care. Yeah.
Yeah. so
Shredder
what's
makes
the
more sense
mummy?
as a monster hunter because he wants to kill the turtles and all that. So
Right.
I just saw like a post today that was very funny. It's like if a vampire catches you, they suck your blood. If like a werewolf catches you, they bite you. Or a zombie, they bite you and they eat your brain. What does a mummy do if it catches you? Just like beat
Bandage
you
you up?
Like yeah, it's kind of boring.
I know mummies were never. I didn't really like.
I guess
grow
they
up
might
watching
take your
the movie,
organs
but
because they don't have their own or something.
I guess.
Because they get cleaned out, right?
They suck your life force out or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
I know
There's
mummies
a
were
vampire.
never like a. As
Yeah.
a monster, would never really frightened
Yeah.
me much.
But yeah, April O'Neil is Frankenstein's bride.
Ah, okay.
So I
Is
guess
she-
April O'Neil is fucking Raphael. Jesus.
I was
fuck.
gonna say,
Sounds
is
like
that, I've heard of that. I've heard of a pairing with April with somebody. Who was
Yeah,
it?
who canonically who's she get with?
Ooh,
I
I have
don't
no
know.
idea. I'm not
I don't.
that into
I've never heard that she
TNT.
picks one.
I'm not
So-
sure. Picks one.
It's their
Jesus.
first poly relationship that in a kids
Right.
show.
I remember one thing I remember seeing, but let's see here.
I guess
Um,
Casey Jones could be a werewolf because he's kind of aggressive. So and
He's
werewolves
got that
are
hair. That would be cool. I like Casey.
maybe
Jones.
like a werewolf with the hockey mask on. That sounds kind of cool,
Sure.
actually.
So according
He'd be like
to
a Jekyll and
this,
Hyde.
Mm.
according to this wiki, Donatello's the one with the crush on her, and the one she's the closest with.
Okay. Okay, we can stop there.
Did you ever read the Flaming Carrot comics?
What the hell is that?
No.
The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles show up in it briefly. It's a comic. It's a very absurd comic about this guy who's like he reads like 1,000 comics in one sitting and it drives him insane. And his head turns into a giant carrot. Instead of the green stuff, it's fire. And so he became the Flaming Carrot. And he just goes around and gets into hijinks. It's very weird.
That's
It
a
inspired
lot.
the movie Mystery Men.
Oh, okay. That a flaming carrot. Okay. That's interesting.
Yeah, I don't think he has any powers. It's like a Howard the
mean,
Duck kind of thing.
he's got a carrot on fire. That's something.
Yep. I think his feet are like weird, like flippers too. I don't know. It's just weird. It's just silly for silliness' sake.
Very silly.
I'm this close to beating Subnautica. I'm playing it with a mod though
beat it?
for co-op purposes, and the mod's kind of buggy, which is a little frustrating.
That's bad.
But it's okay. The game's definitely. I don't like the scary monsters.
Yeah, that's just something. There's just something about like being underwater.
Yeah, I mean, you can avoid them. You largely don't have to deal with them, but it's still just like a atmosphere of me, like especially the first time you're going to a new zone, you're just like, what's gonna happen? So, I don't know that I'd recommend the game, but it's well, I think it's hard to, assuming the non-modded game is bug free, it's well made, at least graphically and like progression and story wise, it's good, but
There's an end game? I thought it was like a constant building simulator.
no, I don't want to spoil things, but no, you can beat it. There's like a story.
Okay.
Because you find these because the premise is like you're on part of this ship that crashes and you're trying to survive, and so you can find like bits of wreckage and you find like these little like other life pods and like PDAs, like little like give you like wait like go here like oh you got a distress call, go here, and so it kind of just guides you through like the game.
All the distress calls and stuff.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Got it. Okay. I didn't realize that. I always just knew it as be underwater and don't drown or get eaten.
In terms of news, not that much. The Amazon taking over EA is
that was just today.
Not a thing.
News.
Yeah. I mean, that's a rumor, right?
It's a rumor, but a bunch of sources have apparently debunked it.
Oh,
okay,
good.
Okay, that's good. I mean,
but apparently, it's not really a secret that EA is trying to sell.
Okay. Oh, jeez. Listen, I don't like EA. All right, but I don't want Amazon to buy EA. I don't really want anything big to buy EA, but I don't know what else they're gonna do.
Let's not have any more mergers.
Let's have some demergers.
Right? The problem is that I don't think there's a chance. Something big is, if EA's looking to sell, something big is gonna pick it up. I just hope it's nothing ginormous.
You gotta be ginormous to be by EA, right? Like,
I know, that's the problem. I don't know. I almost would prefer if like all the companies that were attached to EA just like sold themselves out to elsewhere. Like at least then it'd be split up as opposed to, you know what I mean? Like, it wouldn't be great, but that. We all know, unfortunately, where the future's going with gaming companies at this point.
I mean, they can kind of do that if they want to. They can sell studios separately, but I doubt they want to do that.
I doubt they will, because they want the biggest payout. But
this one's kind of interesting for me. If you grew up on JRPGs, on like the PS1, PS2, and all that, Wild Arms and Shadow Hearts, the two creators teamed up to announce a double Kickstarter. So like one Kickstarter for two projects for spiritual successors to Wild Arms and Shadow Hearts, Arm Fantasia and Penny Blood. So if you're into those JRPG franchises.
Interesting.
Yeah. Because they haven't had games in a long time. So spiritual successors are pretty much the next best thing.
Yeah, pretty much. Hey, I'll take it. Shadow Hearts I know, but I don't think I ever played it. It just sounds really familiar.
Yeah, it's the like very gothic, dark JRPG, very like culty.
Got it.
Seems like your thing. Yeah, it seems like your thing. Yeah, I would say.
Never played it, but it just sounds familiar.
You can get it on emulators and stuff, which I am totally for.
Yeah. Oh yeah, dude.
So yeah, Arm Fantasia and Penny Blood.
Evo happened like a week ago.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
I did not hear anything about it.
There was a there's the new, what's the new Warner Brothers fighting game? Multiverses.
Yeah.
You got to see a lot of that. It's interesting. It's funny watching people like fight while Steven Universe music plays in the background, because that seems like the most popular stage.
That's funny.
Yeah, it's fun to see.
Gamescom is a thing right now. That's the huge European convention. Nothing really that much announced yet. We'll see. Apparently, Dead Island 2 got a new trailer.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I think I saw that. I didn't watch it.
Yeah, that's a game that's been in limbo for like 8 years. So, so yeah, apparently they were re-energized by the Goat Simulator 3 trailer that made fun of Dead Island 2 or something, I guess. So yeah, they were like, "Oh, Goat Simulator, whatever, just whatever." Nothing else, honestly.
I had one game announcement. I'm not sure where the announcement was from. Oh, it's from Gamescom. They're making a Killer Clowns from Outer Space game, which is kind of interesting in its own right. But the thing that made it stick out to me, it's an asymmetrical game, and it's not like 1v4, it's 3v7. I think that's really cool.
Interesting.
So like 3 clowns?
3 clowns for 7 survivor human types, yeah.
Huh. That's like a horror movie or something, right?
It is a horror movie. I've seen it once. I don't remember if it was like self-aware and silly or actually trying to be scary and ended up being cheesy. I think it was self-aware.
Apparently, it's comedy horror.
I liked it. It's fun.
Now that I'm looking at the clowns, NECA just showed off like they're making the toys for these. I think.
Oh.
Yeah.
Pass. They do their job well at looking gross and scary. Don't want to own that at all.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
And I actually saw the like a screenshot of the game that you're talking about, the Killer Clowns. I actually thought it was like a new content DLC thing for that Dead. What was it? The 1v4 one?
Oh, Dead by Daylight. Yeah, absolutely.
Dead by Daylight. I thought it was that actually.
Sure.
I didn't know it was like its own thing.
Yeah.
But 3 versus 7, that's 10 people in a game. That's a lot of people you need to wait for.
That's true. I mean, I just as a game design perspective, I think it's interesting because it's
It is interesting, yeah.
I agree it is hard to get 10 people to play a game.
Yeah.
There's going to be some weird queue issues with that.
You probably
People
gonna
leaving.
need some kind of bots, I guess.
Mm,
I'm not even sure if bots is a thing for Dead by Daylight.
I don't know.
Oh well.
I don't think
I really do like when, game designers experiment. Sometimes you experiment.
Wasn't Evolve just like in the news like 2 weeks ago? Like they were releasing it for free so you could play it with only bots maybe or something. I don't remember.
Oh, I have no idea.
I think that was a long time ago. Not sure.
Yeah. That game disappeared a while ago. It like disappeared and came back and disappeared again.
That's pretty much it.
I
Cool.
got
You wanna wrap
nothing.
up?
Yeah, we can wrap up.
You can wrap up.
Yeah.
Do the thing. Do the thing.
This is Sarahscopic, SARAHSCOPIC. I'm on Twitter these days. I appear a lot in my my wife's channel these days because we play a lot of D&D. But otherwise, you can also catch me at RNG and T.
And I'm Foehamner, and I'm kind of nowhere right now. I've just been really busy with unfortunate meat space stuff.
What?
I'm on 2 different improv teams right now, so a lot of my spare time's like practicing or performing, not online.
Right. Meat space. Got it.
Meat space.
And I'm Pupunoob, PUPUNOB on Twitter and Instagram, I guess. That's pretty much, yeah. This has been episode 197 of the playonultra podcast. Thank you very much for watching and listening. We will see you next time. Bye-bye.